Hello and welcome to LRC The League. This is Season 5, Round 2, Division 1. And we're here at Spa, just catching the first timed laps in qualifying. So, Willie leading the fields here on track in these Group 1 cars. D2 was quite the eventful race. We had one virtual safety car that had quite the big impact. Unfortunately wasn't able to be broadcast due to several technical issues. But here we are, bringing you the action for Division 1. So 3 minutes into our 10-minute qualifying session. And all drivers now on their first timed laps, pushing as hard as they can around here. Or maybe not just yet. Getting in a first timed lap is always a good strategy. Jumping on board with Willie now through Francorchamps. Not even the hint of a lift. These cars can absolutely fly through there near 200 miles an hour. First time for Willie is a 2-minute 1.0. Anthony Colazzo putting in a time 2:02.0, so about a second back there. Scarecrow in third. Make that fourth because Stoles came across the line in fourth place, and now Stoles is in fourth because V8 Eater, the driver who qualified third place last week at Daytona, I believe, currently second place. So definitely some pace in the car. Very quick driver when it comes to putting down a fast lap time, pushing it to the limits. But last week he struggled a bit with the high fuel consumption of the car, had to do an extra pit stop. So this week with the strategy relying heavily on making as little pit stops as you can, this being the 24-hour layout of the track with that extra long pit lane, that's going to be a huge factor here. Tokyo Dave in third place at the moment on Team Renault, subbing in for the second week in a row. Oh, not bad at all, just jumping right in. Take a look at some of our other drivers here. On Team Audi we have Ryder, currently having a penalty there, just serving it. Already got a lap time in, so just setting up for this next lap. The tires should hold up pretty well for this 10 minutes qualifying session, so didn't need to hit for new tires, and should be able to just push for 2 or 3 laps, 2 or 3 fast laps, maybe backing off a little bit in between to cool things off. But V8 Eater actually returned to the pits and just getting a new set of tires on and full tank. I say full tank, it's start with half a tank. But now that I look at it, I don't think the fuel tank is going to last these 10 minutes because they start at 50% and the fuel consumption is quite high. So Willie here, his fuel is looking quite low. I'm not sure if he's going to make it to the end of this lap. That'll be something to look out for. So, focusing on the rest of the drivers here. Oh, Max Walker going all sorts of sideways on the pit exit. Very tricky pit exit. I was spectating both the Academy race earlier today and Division 2, and there were plenty of pit exit moments. A lot of them including a big 3-second penalty for going over the line just the slightest bit. The stewards do not like that here. Hames currently sitting in 9th place, just letting a few cars by. And again with the fuel, not sure if he's going to have enough fuel for a push lap here. And Willie did have to pit, not going to have enough time to get back around to the start line, so that will be his time. Same Sir Hames really, so Sir Hames finished 3rd place, I think, last week at Daytona. And starting from 9th or further back will make it a bit more difficult this week to get a podium. But we'll see what happens. There's Mike beat it on me. E2 was quite eventful, and there's always the threat of rain, so the first weather slot after, or the all weather slots after the first are completely random, so I hope all of these drivers have thought to get their intermediate and wet tires, actually just wet tires. Only the wet tires are allowed in this series, Division 1, so no intermediates. And that will certainly make things interesting if we do get rain. We haven't seen rain in a league race since Season 1, I think. Well, it's been 4 seasons that we have not had rain in a league race, so that would certainly I don't know what's going on with my mic switch here. The technical issues have not ended. They're ongoing. See if Tokyo Dave improves his lap. No. Crow improves by 0.2, but not his position, so still remaining 5th there. And next across the line we have Nixon. That bright purple livery car improves by 1.2 seconds. Up to 11th place for him. And then last across the line here in qualifying is Stoles. Finished a very close 2nd. Last week at Daytona does not improve his time. That will set the grid for the race. Alright, so that's Willie on pole with a 2 minutes 0.466, and then 7/10 behind is Anthony Colazzo in second place. Third place goes to Tokyo Dave, 7/10 behind him. And then we have V8 Eater in fourth place, ARL Scarecrow and Ryder in fifth and sixth. Seventh and eighth are Stoles and S. Walker. Then we have Trackhead and Arya, 9th and 10th. Sir Hames and Nixon, 11th and 12th. And Accession and Ads, 13th and 14th on the grid. So nice and short qualifying there. It will not be a short race. It's a 32 lap race around Spa. And with the chance of rain and some possible VSCs mixing things up, it's gonna be a long one. But drivers just taking a short break now, making sure they have their setups, their tunes on the car, making any adjustments if needed. The Division 1 drivers have all of the tuning open for them. So even the transmission, the gearing, anything to help them with consistency, speed, and optimizing the fuel and the tire wear. So every bit of strategy being thrown at the car by the teams, working over the week in their own team chats on Discord, making the car as fast as possible across the duration of a race. That's the important part. But big thank you to Lamb King this week. He volunteered to be the race director for this round, since both Wonka and Dinosaur not able to be here this week, so people in the community really stepping up to make sure things run as smoothly as possible. Alright, we got some R's in the chat. The drivers are ready to go here. And I'm sure they've been ready for 25-30 minutes or so, because the race had been delayed for that long due to D2 having some issues at the start there. The PSN chat had failed us, and then we tried Discord out, and that wasn't that much better. But we got through it, so I think the race went as smoothly as it could have. Alright, and then we got the 30-second warning from Lamb King. So things about to get going here. It will be a rolling start, the 24-hour layout of the track, with the start line halfway down the hill after turn 1 to Eau Rouge. So watch out for some big moves up the Kemmel Straight into Lake Ham. Just popping a message in the chat here so that they know that I'm starting soon. Always lose that message. Here it is. Cool, here we go. Alright, good luck to all the drivers. And some cheering going on in the chat for Walker. Always good to see the support for some drivers here. I expect this race to go into the night and then further into the morning. Drivers will have that to contend with as well. See the green flag flying now. Willie down into Eau Rouge. Anthony Collazo just behind him. Tokyo Dave gets a mega run through, and on the outside of Anthony Collazo already, getting that slipstream behind Willie. And past Anthony Collazo, I believe. So let's take the outside line. Now he's passed, turns into the inside for Malmedy. And V8 Eater around the outside of Anthony Collazo. So Anthony Collazo losing 2 positions there at the start. And it was nearly 3 wide down into Ravage. Well, big sideways moment there for Anthony Collazo, just collecting the car there. And then Stoles around the outside at No Name Corner, or Speaker's Corner if you want to give it one. Oh, into the back of Ryder there in the entrance of Huan. No damage on the cars though, so continuing on. Stoles down into 8th place after that contact. We have S. Walker, Crackhead in 10th, Sir Hames making a move on Nixon in 11th. Succession and Ads is at the back at the moment. At the front again, Tokyo Dave followed by V8 Eater, Anthony Collazo, Scarecrow, Ryder, Arya Stoles, and these 4 are bunched up right here. Oh, got someone in the barrier in the background. That is Succession with some big damage on the car. Look at what happened there. Oh, just loses it on the exit curve of Francorchamps. Just on his own there, and that is really unfortunate. So it'll take a while to fix that car and get it back out there. On board with Tokyo Dave now, just giving you an idea for the speeds they get up to into the braking zone of Lacombe. Also, almost 200 miles an hour. It's 199, I think. Out into this downhill sweeping section, very difficult on the brakes here into No Name. Cars having ABS available, of course, but no traction control. Well, Scarecrow's gonna wish that he had it there because he was all over the dark green AstroTurf sort of surface on the outside of the curb, and lost quite a bit of time there to the cars ahead. So the 2 teammates now. Not sure if Tokyo Dave is going to wait or battle his teammate. Tokyo Dave, of course, a reserve driver, not a full-time driver. So if there's a move into the chicane here, doesn't look like it. Looks like he's just hanging back for a moment. Oh, Scarecrow goes deep though. And Tokyo Dave takes the opportunity. Riding on board there. Tokyo Dave says, "Thank you very much." Oh, let's be careful on the exit there. We're going through Eau Rouge and Radion now. Scarecrow going wide on the exit, Ryder going wider than that. Getting a 5/10 penalty for that. The three on the front are a bit spread out now, so focusing on these 4 or 5. Ryder, even with that penalty, is going to try and make up as much ground as he can. Stoll's getting very close to the back of Ryder, almost pushing him into the entrance of the double apex corner here. All over the exit curve, really trying to find a way past as soon as he can, because you know Stolz has more pace in the car. He nearly won Daytona last week out. There's Ryder serving his half-second penalty, and Stolz slips right by there, so Stolz up to 6th place. That certainly made it easier for him. Again with Willie has V8 Eater about a second behind, but look at V8 Eater's fuel. He's used so much more than Willie has. Willie's just under 3/4 of a tank. V8 Eater almost down to half. Quite a difference there in strategy of the fuel burn. Anthony Colazzo is about the midpoint between those two. Tokyo Dave and Scarecrow flying around, no name. And sweeping through to a really nice corner, especially in a high downforce car. This track being a favorite of a lot of our drivers, and I think most drivers like this track, so definitely a favorite. You can ignore the please refuel alert there. At the top of the screen, Scarecrow has just over a half a tank of fuel at the moment, so no worries there. Stolz setting the fastest lap for just a moment there. Ryder setting it right after him, 201.7. Very good race pace. Flying up the Kemmel Straight once again. And another purple sector, so these guys are just flying around here. Checking up at the front just briefly there, so V8 Eater still within a second of Willie. think everyone else is just using that much more fuel than Willie. I think Willie just has that much more fuel on board. But everyone else looks about the same level there. I wonder if Willie's going for the two-stop strategy. If he can. If you can around this track, it is definitely the way to go. One stop less with this long pit lane. We saw it in the Division 2 race, or I saw at least. The pit's taking, a minute 10 seconds, I think it was. Whoa, side by side there. Through Francorchamps. That was, you don't often see that. And when you do, it usually results in the track, but we'll just look how close those two were. Oh yeah, that was... I don't know if I would have tried it on lap 6 especially, but good stuff. Stoles with a half-second penalty, Ryder with a 1-second penalty. So I'm imagining that's from Eau Rouge and Radion this lap. Gonna give allow Arya to gain some ground there. Hads currently has Sir Hames within a half second, but Sir Hames also with a 1-second penalty. So the stewards at the track quite strict here with those track limits. Right on board with Sir Hames for a bit here. Does have that 1-second penalty though, so you're gonna see ads fly away. There he goes. Oh, here we go. Will this be another side-by-side Francorchamps moment? S. Walker on the inside, looks like Trackhead just backed out there. Walker has damage on the front end of that car. Front right suspension. Doesn't opt to get it fixed just yet though. Oh no. He might be regretting that decision not to come in, because even with the damage on the front of the car, it does make it more difficult for the corner exit, and you need all the grip you can get in these cars on the corner exit, because they're just that difficult to get out of a corner with any speed. And no TC, of course. So both V8 and Anthony Colazzo really driving up to the back of Willie now. And I think if anyone is going to have a chance in this race, strategy-wise, I think V8 is going to help him out a lot here if he can make a move. There we go. That's what I was getting at. Heater nice and smooth on the throttle, and the dirty air behind Willie. doesn't go for the move into turn one. You heard him just lift there, just to back off. If you can get a good run through a Rouge or Radion, might be thinking about it up the Kemmel Straight. Really moving to the inside, try and take that slipstream away. But I'm wondering if Willie is now using full revs in that car, because he certainly had the speed up the straight there, up the hill. Could be down to setup as well though. V8 Eater making a mistake on the exit of turn 9, and Anthony Collazo taking that opportunity to slip by just into second place there. So good opportunistic move, taking advantage of that sideways moment. Now Anthony Collazo is going to have a turn, trying to get past Willie here. And looking at the amount of fuel that Willie has, both Anthony Collazo and V8 Eater are going to have to not only get past Willie, but get quite a bit down the road in order to offset that fuel difference. Tokyo Dave putting a little bit of a gap between him and Scarecrow. Not very much at all though, 1.2 seconds. And that's 3 seconds back to Stoles, 5 seconds back to Arya to make that 6. And V8 Eater is now pitting, so 8 laps for the fuel. Stoles also having to pit 4th and 5th as well. And this is just how long the pit lane is. With the normal layout of Spa, the pits are right after you enter, but of course the 24-hour layout, you have to go all the way around the inside of the with the turn 1, and then the pits are on the downhill. So these cars just now getting into their pit boxes. Nixon pitting as well, so the majority of cars taking their first pit at the end of lap 8. Anthony Collazo, though, surprisingly, feels like he's able to go a 9th lap, so Willie still has a couple more laps of fuel left in his tank. Slightly better tire wear as well. And I did see Willie's wipers going a little bit there. Yep, Anthony Collazo's as well, just for a brief moment there. Whether that means there's rain up in the air or they have some electrical issue on the wheel with the button being stuck, not yet sure. If the two cars are doing it, oh yep, there's confirmation right there. So some rain falling, and first time in 4 seasons that we've had rain during a league race. And whether it was part of Willie's strategy to pit this lap or not, certainly is now. And there must be a significant amount of rain on the radar, because these drivers only have wet tires available, no intermediates. So in order to make the switch from slicks to wets, there's got to be a significant amount forecasted there. Sometimes the weather can have just as much of an impact on a race as a safety car succession, having crashed the car on the exit of Francorchamps early in the race, made that early pit stop, and now is taking his pit for wet tires, while a lot of these drivers remaining on racing mediums. So don't believe that the rain will last long enough, is heavy enough to make the switch to extreme wet tires, as again, that's all that's available, no intermediates, of course. But might have just been a small amount. Some drivers thinking it's going to be more than that, so we will see what happens. It's certainly shaking things up. So kind of to summarize here, Willie is on the wet tires, V8 Eater on the racing medium, so didn't choose to, he pit earlier actually, so he wouldn't have had the same information. A little bit more rain coming down, some spray now, the drivers on racing mediums really having to back off. Anthony Colazzo on the wet tires, and we'll see just the grip difference. V8 Eater just has nothing. And there's a spin, so the conditions certainly deteriorating now. And a few drivers now having difficulties on those racing mediums, so definitely was a gamble sticking on the racing mediums, sticking with the racing mediums and not the wet tires. But it could have easily paid off, so certainly not today. Sir Hames very lucky to not slide all the way into that wall and get any damage. So Willie and Anthony Colazzo making the right call there onto wet tires. V8 Eater also lucky to not get any damage from there. A couple of spins coming into the pits for wets. Aircrow as well. Stoles made the right call. He's on wet tires. And despite having some early troubles in the race and qualifying, putting him in 9th place, up into, well, he's going to be up into 3rd place, I think. Yeah, V8 Eater just exiting the pits now. Stoles, even with the 3-second penalty, is going to make it into the podium spot 11 laps in, so there it is, the gap increasing now. And V8 Eater also with a 3-second penalty, so that difference cancels out there. Arya and Tokyo Dave also getting some wet tires on the car. And Ads just making it to the pits now, as well as S. Walker, Sir Hames, so those three the rain heavily impacting their race there. Not in a good way. Let's just ride on board with Willie for a little bit. See how the conditions have changed here. So on the wet tires, short shifting even earlier than he was before. Short shifting earlier before to save fuel, but now on the corner exits especially, just to get the power down. very early in the rev range. Oh, and there, that shows you right there just how difficult it is. Just how difficult it is to get these cars around here in the wet. Difficult in the dry, but as soon as you throw some water on the track, it's treacherous. So those couple of mistakes there, Anthony Collazo made up some ground. Now about just over 1.5 seconds behind, so looks like they're equal on fuel, equal on tire wear. These two starting to get close now. Looks like Stoles might have just gotten past Scarecrow. Ooh, so V8 Eater now into the wall on the exit of turn 9. Looks like they went deep into turn 7 as well, so oh man. Alright, first and second place now starting lap 13. They're going to be very happy that they're on the wet tires right now because starting to be some standing water on the track as well. And Willie having a big sideways moment there on the exit of Radion. Anthony Collazo getting a much better line through there. Isn't able to take advantage of it though. I think Willie just has that much less downforce on the car. Faster in a straight line, but I think that explains why he's having so many sideways moments here with the car. And again on the exit of turn 9. Down into Ravage around the outside line there. Goes Anthony Collazo. And into turn 11, still side by side. Very nice driving them there from the both of them. And another big slide from Willie, so very difficult to keep it pointed in the right direction. And every corner now is just full focus. There's no way you can be on autopilot around here like you might be able to in the dry. Quite a big lift now through Francorchamps. And they were almost touching on the exit of the chicane. Now Willie taking the inside defensive line. Anthony Collazo looking for a wide turn in there, late apex, and now they're side by side going into a Rouge. I don't know if one of them is gonna back out here. Looks like Willie might have, or just didn't have the speed on entry. Anthony Collazo is now through into the lead. take a look at that again. So yeah, Willie was just far enough back, didn't have the overlap, and probably a smart move not to go through Eau Rouge and Radeon too wide in the wet. Oops, sorry, didn't mean to do that. But it looks like the rain has stopped now, so the track will begin to dry out. And then it's always the question of how early is too early for slick tires. Many of the drivers had done some testing throughout the week. They will have noticed a sort of crossover point where the lap times kind of equalize from wets to dries. And that will be the time where they will pit. And Anthony Collazo putting a little bit of a gap between him and Willie now. Doesn't have any of the dirty air or the spray to worry about. Now just has the clear air and putting in some solid laps. And what you're gonna see here, probably even early as this, the wet tires are gonna start to overheat because there's a dry line now forming, and I wouldn't be surprised to see the driver going far to the inside, searching for water to cool off these tires. Oh, looks like Stoles might be going for it. I think that might be a little early, but this will answer the question, how early is too early? Stoles the first coming into the pits on the wet tires, switching to, I'm guessing, the slicks, because there's no other reason to pit at this moment. Looking at his fuel and tire wear, V8 Eater also trying it, though he has damage to fix. So maybe not, maybe just fixing the damage. Scarecrow continuing on. Stoles is filling the tank. And multiple drivers in the pits now. Yeah, so Stoles on racing mediums is gonna have to crawl through this pit exit because no cars have been through it at racing speed. Navigated it well though, so conscious of those conditions and was able to make it through. It is far too easy to want to get out there on the track and fly through the pit exit like you might be able to when it's dry, but here we have Arya just making it through the pit exit there, so yeah, that was a close one. So, blue flag there of Willie, I believe. So yeah, there we see Willie going far to the inside to try and cool off those tires, because 2 laps later, after the rest of the drivers the majority of the drivers have decided to get onto the dry tires, Willie and Anthony Collazo still on those wets, so they are hunting for any water still on the track to keep them cooled down. I'd be surprised if they'd go another lap after this, though. Tires are quite worn at this point, so. Scarecrow going another lap. I think it's still a bit too early to switch to dry tires. Stoles, though, is proving that it isn't. He's flying around here right now. So riding on board with Stoles now. The curbs still have quite a bit of water on them, so very important to stay off the curbs when the track is drying out like this. And you saw just a little bit, he touched the inside curb up into Radion, and the car kicked sideways there, had to lift and save it. Always a bit of a scary moment there. But the dry line is only going to get wider, so and we have a GG in the chat, meaning possibly a VSC, but we'll have to see what happened there. Ooh, big moment there, big slide through Radion, and that is a car sideways in the wall. Tokyo Dave, looks like he just spun it, so no damage there by the looks of it, but we can see a replay of if it was Accession. Yeah, looks like he's already got damage on the car, so might have been on the exit of turn 1. Someone got into the back of him there. But that's going to be... We're going to see if that's a VSC called just in a second here. If Anthony Collazo drops to 60 miles an hour or so, yeah, he's lifting, so that is a VSC. We'll bring all the drivers together here and effectively neutralize the race, so all of the gaps and the distance between the drivers will shrink to basically nothing, as the restart is double file side by side. It's going to be even more difficult with there being a dry line still forming, so we'll see if the sun shining in the sky now is able to help these drivers out, dry out the track further, and when they have the restart there won't be any further issues. Looks like now Stoles is gradually going through the exit now of the pits on a new set of racing medium tires and full fuel. Might not be a new set of tires actually. They do have a little bit of wear on them, but this is going to be quite a lengthy VSC. Because Stoles is currently 1 minute 7 seconds behind Willie in second place. So, kind of to recap there, we have Anthony Collazo in first place after making a pass in the rain when they had the wet tires on. Nice and smooth in the wet with his driving, smooth inputs, was able to flip past Willie after Willie made a mistake or two, sliding through a couple corner exits, and it could certainly be down to setup of the car, we saw Willie flying through straights, the Kemmel Straight, especially up that hill. So could be carrying quite a bit less drag on the car, less aero. Stoll's now caught up. Now Scarecrow joining them. That's definitely gonna be a bit still, so I think these three, 5th, 6th, and 7th, I feel like they should be thinking about using less fuel right now, because they have 8th and back quite a bit further back, so they should know that it's gonna be a bit longer, and they don't need to absolutely push as hard as they can to get to the groove here, but seems like they just want to get there. So 8th place rider, still a few corners away from the pack. V8 Eater closely following him. Then we have Chris Walker in 10th place. Doesn't look like he has hit, probably took a lap back instead. The Accession has pit. And new tires and fuel, Mr. Hames as well. And as he is with the other drivers, has not taken a lap back, so has chosen to pit instead. Just waiting for Accession and Mr. Hames. And they should be able to restart at the end of this lap. Anthony Colazo currently going about 70 miles an hour here. Dropping it to 60 to make sure that they can restart this lap. Yeah, Sir Hames just going through Milan now, so. Going to be quite the eventful restart. The track still not fully dried out, so the racing line, the dry line, still a factor. After this chicane, they should be able to safely line up side by side, double file. So here they all are coming through the chicane now. pulling up alongside, so even numbered spots will be on the left. We'll have to take the outside line in Rouge and Radion. The restart line, same as the start line here, of course, after turn 1 in this 24-hour layout. Halfway down the hill, so jump on board with Stoles for this. There it is, green, 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 so it looked like this stayed in double file for long, but oh no! That's going to be Anthony Clazo around. And that was a big incident, so wouldn't be surprised if that would be a second VSC. Let's take a look at that from Anthony Clazo's perspective. So it looks like he just got very loose on the curb there. And we were talking about that before, the curbs still very wet. A lot of water on the curbs, and oh man, looks like this car got bounced around there by a few other cars. Really unfortunate. Anthony Clazo's race was going really well up to that point, so yeah, it was just the slightest bit of error there. One tire on the curb. Yeah, it was just slick enough to send the car sideways, and it's almost impossible not to overcorrect when you're at that high of a speed. But that will be him in the pits at the end of this lap. Willie also with damage on the front of that car, so he's going to want to get that fixed for sure. I would call that a racing incident. Seeing that from a couple different angles, I really don't think anyone was really in the wrong there. It was kind of just the conditions of the track. But we'll see here if the race director decides to restart the race at the end of this lap. It does look like we have one car, so that's ads, looks like, I think was also involved in the incident. Yep, so Willie pitting to repair that damage. And Anthony Clazo as well. Looks like a few different drivers are just taking this opportunity to rethink their strategy. So if they're towards the end of the pack, might as well fill up the fuel tank, get some new tires anyway, because if you're already at the back, might as well just turn that into a strategy opportunity. That is the way to do it. Get yourself back into the race. And look who is at the front. Stoles started 9th place. And this safety car, these two safety cars have been quite beneficial for him, so taking those opportunities, placing the car where he needs to, avoiding incidents, and up into first. And depending on where Willie finishes this race, this could be huge for the championship points. Willie, of course, winning last week at Daytona at round 1. Stoll's not even 2/10 behind him, I think, at the line. And now Willie is where Stoll started, in 9th place. And Sir Hames, Stoll's teammate, just in front of Willie there. Anthony Colazo exiting the pits, just behind Willie. We have S. Walker was able to get that lap back and on the previous safety car, and is now on the lead lap, so the safety car is certainly getting him back into the race. And it looks like race director is waiting for all of the cars to get grouped up here, so hopefully ads can get to the back of this pack before the chicane. It does look like the track has dried up significantly more since the incident that brought out the safety car, so drivers should have an easier time this time around. And here we go, so ads just getting to the back of the pack before the chicane. Perfect timing there. And this will be the restart, setting up the restart here, so Stoll's now in the lead, taking them to turn 1. And here we are again for the second restart. Getting nice and close to each other down the hill. And it's green, green, green once again, so Rolls leading them through. Rouge and Radion, Scarecrow in 2nd place. The 8-Eater in 3rd, Arya in 4th place. Big impact for their race. Those two safety cars able to gain quite a few places. Ryder looking to the inside line. Oh, and Trackhead just sliding off there onto the on the exit of Les Combes. So Ryder up into 5th place. Willie already made up 3 positions from 9th, so up into 6th for him. And we have 2 GGs in the chat again, so Tokyo Dave with front and rear aero damage, and ads looks like he was involved with that as well, so possibly a 3rd VSC. Yes, there is. So wondering if this will hurt Stoll's race as much as the previous two have helped it. Well, let's see if we can grab the replay here on what happened. The incident has already happened, so I'm thinking that happened in Radion, like the previous one did. Very difficult to get through there when there's so many cars in front. All the dirty air that these cars produce, the turbulent air on off of all the aero on the car, makes it really difficult to follow one car. So when you're following a whole pack of them, you have to be so much more careful. But with all the cars grouped up already, we might just get this race restarted once again at the end of this lap, so could potentially be a bit shorter of a wait time here. A lot of stoppages. With the amount of cars going into the pit lane here, I don't think we're going to be restarting this lap because there's 5, 6 cars in the pit lane. Oh, Stoles has chosen to pit, so from the lead, maybe has calculated the fuel needed to finish the race. Would be 9 racing laps maybe, and then some fuel left over for the for finishing up the VSC, and possibly confident that they can finish the race on these tires and fuel. And so does Willie. Willie looks like he jumped ahead there. And has rejoined ahead of Trackhead, so pushed on the pit exit there, was able to jump ahead Trackhead when they got to the pit exit line. So Stoll's now 2 places behind Willie, and in 9th place, back where he started the race. So quite a lot can change in a very short time. But look who is in 3rd and 4th place, Team Audi. They didn't have the best result in the D2 race. 3rd and 4th place here. Very cool to see. I really like that livery. Got the color shift background, very colorful. Oh, Scarecrow now leading the race. I don't think he's going to be able to finish the race on that fuel, excuse me. Yep, so Walker currently in 10th place, has filled the fuel tank on that car, so they will be able to get to the end of the race with that fuel. Trackhead will have to pit at some point. Or Hames will have to, Ryder, Arya, V8 Eater, and Scarecrow for sure. So most of the cars in front of Walker actually have to pit at least once before the end of this race. So he's in a very good position right now. Despite the first two safety car restarts, it looks like we are going to try this one side by side here. Double file was the words I was looking for. So Scarecrow now down to the start-finish line on the third restart of this race. And there's the green flag, so they're going now, accelerating down to a Rouge and back up again. V8 Eater now within 0.2, sticking with Scarecrow there. Through that section now into Lake Comp. And thankfully everyone now getting through cleanly there. Scarecrow already putting a 1.2 second gap on V8 Eater there. But this group of cars still very close together. Anthony, Colazzo, and Willie, the previous leaders of the race for a while there, back in 5th and 6th place after a few VSCs. Now Willie with that high-speed car, that low downforce, searching for a way past. Into Blanchimont isn't able to do it. Looking at the inside line into the chicane, has to back out of it there. You see all the cars filtering through the chicane. And at this point, I think the drivers are just making sure that they're as careful as they can be. Don't want to cause any more VSCs than there have already been. And it should be the beginning of lap 28. There will be 5 laps left, and there will be no more VSCs. Call Stoles there, getting a poor exit through Radion, and Tokyo Dave flies past him there. But Tokyo Dave goes deep though in the braking zone of Lacombe, and Stoles takes it right back. So nice heads-up driving there by Stoles. Session defending from the 2 teammate cars there. That's Walker and Trackhead. Walker losing a place there. Oh no! Walker spun it there on the exit of No Name, but somehow doesn't have any damage on the car, so keeps it going. And still with that fuel, he's able to make it to the end of the race without a pit stop, still in a decent position. V8 Eater looks like he has caught up to Scarecrow quite a bit here. And then it is Arya and Ryder still in 3rd and 4th place. Ryder has Anthony Collazo to contend with, though. Anthony is right on his bumper, or was, through the chicane. It looked like he had the best line through the chicane, so lost a little bit of speed on the exit. Absolutely flat out now through Eau Rouge and Radillon, no problem. The track has definitely reached the conditions that it was at the start. V8 Eater continuing to try and put some pressure on Scarecrow here. I think they have almost identical fuel, but V8 Eater a bit more wear on those tires. And it could be down to tires having to do a little bit more work than the Aero, being in the dirty airs of Scarecrow. V8 Eater going deep there into the chicane. That's going to lose him quite a bit of time. What happened to Arya there? Oh, they went into the pit lane, so yeah, so they went very deep into the chicane and then had to cut across the track. Lucky that there was no one on their outside there. But made it into the pit lane safely, so Arya the first having to pit under green flag conditions after the most recent restart of the race. And V8 Eater has lost some significant time from going deep in the chicane there, so 2.7 seconds now is the gap between 1st and 2nd place. 1 second back to Ryder, still in 3rd. We have Anthony Collazo in 4th, Willie in 5th place now, gaining a place from Arya's pit stop. So a top 5 already, but definitely wants more. And we have Hames in 6th place, Tokyo Dave in 7th, Stoles in 8th place. Does look like Stoles has a little bit more fuel than Willie. Similar situation to last week, where Stoles is able to use a bit more fuel to catch up, but currently has 2 cars in between himself and Willie, so the points difference we were talking about earlier on, possibly not happening today, but we'll see. V8 Eater has Ryder driving up to the back of him, so under 6/10 now. And that's Scarecrow into the pit lane, so definitely not feeling like that fuel is going to last. And looking at the fuel of V8 and Ryder, they've got a similar amount, so whoa, big slide there on the exit of turn 1. Was able to save it though. I think Anthony Collazo is the first on track that won't have to pit. So Anthony is essentially in the net lead right now. factor in the sheer amount of time it takes to get through the pit lane. Really just behind him, Sir Hames definitely needs to pit for fuel at least. Tokyo Dave had pit and during one of the VSCs, so he's probably good to go till the end, and then Stoles has quite a bit of fuel on board, so Stoles possibly still in a podium position here, we'll see. But V8 Eater and Ryder definitely enjoying this first and second position here in Division 1. Drivers are all pretty quick, so if you're in a top spot, Mike went on me again. Okay, there we go. Really putting the pressure on these top three now. In 2/10 of Anthony Collazo. And a little bit of a look there into a Rouge just to say to Anthony Collazo, hey, I'm here. Oh, but it's a 1 second penalty. I didn't really see where he got that, but apparently the stewards on the track saw, well, they got like a telescope out there or something, but Anthony Collazo a bit wide through the entry of turn 9, and Willie through, so that's into third place for Willie. You see what happened here, so oh, it was a little bit of a dive there into turn 9, so was able to get just far enough alongside before the turn-in point to establish some significant overlap there, and just stole the line away from Anthony Collazo there, so that was pretty tight there. Willie now serving his 1 second penalty though, so as impressive as that move might have been, back into fourth place. And Tokyo Dave now has Stoles about 1.5 seconds behind him. Eater and Ryder both taking their pit stop now, so Anthony Collazo back in the lead, and Willie back in second, so much like how this race was going on lap, what was it, 14, 15 or so? It was like quite a long time ago. This race now an hour and 13 minutes long, and 4 laps to go, including this one. Willie has quite a bit more fuel than Anthony does, so he's going to be able to attack quite a bit here. And the Team Toyota car in front is really going to have to defend as hard as possible, just like that, parking it on the apex. Here he's short shifting quite a bit, using as little fuel as possible. Willie trying the outside line around Puan, and is able to keep it there. Turns into the inside for turns 12, and then 13 he's through, so Willie was having none of that. Able to sweep around the outside of probably the most difficult corner on the track in terms of the entry, at least getting that right. Really back into the lead. Tokyo Dave still in third place. But Tokyo Dave, I think it might be a similar situation to Anthony Collazo and Willie there. Dave having much less fuel, so Stoll's able to attack there. And this is 3 laps now to the end, so see how much time Stoll's gains here. I'd imagine it's going to be quite a lot. Able to use much higher revs. Yeah, those 2/10 at least since turn 1, so definitely looking for a second podium in a row. Ads, who is just pitting there, so this should be where, well, I was gonna say that this should be where Walker is gonna gain a few positions because cars ahead are going to have to pit. It looks like they're all set to the end of the race, though. I'm not sure about Anthony Collazo's fuel level. Actually, it looks like he's aggressively fuel saving right now. He's shifting into he's upshifting before he sees any revs on the rev meter. So definitely trying to conserve as much as possible so he doesn't have to lose another over a minute on the pit stop again. So that will put him pretty far back. So Anthony Collazo just moving over there. He knows he doesn't have the speed for the amount he has to fuel save right now, so just moving over, letting Stolz and Tokyo Dave continue their battle. I think we're gonna stick with this until the end of the race. Willie is quite a bit ways ahead now, ahead of second, so this is the battle for second to the end of the race. You have to be so smooth with the steering there. And the front tires are, all of the tires are very worn by now. So taking that into consideration as well. Dirty air. Oh, all over the exit curve there. Oh, even more through Stavlo. And the tire wear and dirty air, they're just making it so difficult to stay close enough to Tokyo Dave. Willie's going to be on his last lap now, final lap, lap 32. Tokyo Dave is coming into the pits. Tokyo Dave has run out of fuel, or close to it, 3%. Wasn't going to make it around for another lap. Stolz now into second place, and Anthony Collazo was going to try his best to get around this track. One last lap, and not much fuel in the tank at all. Down to the last drops of fuel, many of the drivers doing the same. Tokyo Dave, though, 3-second penalty on the entry of the pit lane. I would imagine that's going to hurt quite a bit. V8 Eater onto the grass a little bit there to the left side tires, getting around the outside of Tokyo Dave. And Ryder is just behind the two of them, so might be able to get past Tokyo Dave with that 3-second penalty is carrying. Check in on that in just a second. So Willie started on pole. He might have even been in every position possible in this race, but just ended up back at the top again. And using the last drops of fuel there to get over the line, Willie wins for the second round in a row at Spa. And this track head spinning around, I believe, but Scholes, is he going to run out over the line? I think he just did. I think he ran out going over the line for the second week in a row. Anthony Collazo just makes it there, also running out of fuel. Ryder was able to get past Tokyo Dave, now fighting through the last corner, giving it everything there on the throttle. Oh, it looks like V8 Eater ran out of fuel just before the line, so even with that slide, Ryder was able to get there first. Ryder grabbing that 4th place away. It's either side by side going into the chicane. Ryder looking for the over-under, the switchback there. A little bit too eager on the throttle, but look at that. V8 Eater just running out before the line. What a dramatic finish there. So Accession now, last car on track. Driving to the line. And what an eventful 32 laps that was. Alright, that's Willie with the win, and let's look over the results of the rest of the finishers here. So Willie, a 1 hour 20-minute race there, 34 laps or 32 laps around Spa. Quite treacherous at times with the conditions. Was able to, even with the lower downforce car, just barely keep it on track a few times through the wet standing water there on the track. Stoles in second place again, so Stoles in second. A 1-2 with Willie and Stoles. And then third for Anthony Collazo. Ryder with that last second overtake there at the line for 4th. V8 Eater in 5th place. And we have Tokyo Dave and Scarecrow, the two Renault drivers, in 6th and 7th. Ads in 8th place, so some good positions gained there by Ads towards the end. And we have Arya unfortunately dropping to 9th place after that late pit stop for the refuel. Sir Hames in 10th with the fastest lap, so 2-minute .8, so that'll be an extra point, I believe, towards Sir Hames. We have Accession in 11th place, Walker in 12th, and then 13th goes to Trackhead. Nixon was not able to finish the race. So again, quite an eventful race. And let's see what track is next week. So round 3, certainly do our best, PSN and Discord willing to bring you all of the action of the Division 2 race as well. It is at Suzuka round 3, so another race with potential rain, as well as round 4 being the Nürburgring, Le Mans the final round, round 6, having the potential of rain. So 4 out of the 6 possible rain. If it's anything like this race was, that will be pretty interesting. Nice, nice and entertaining for you guys to watch. And we'll be back next time at Suzuka. Hopefully with the D2 as well. Again, thank you to Lamb King for volunteering to race director this one. He had quite a bit of work to do, three VSCs. So good job to him sorting that out. And we'll be back next week.